everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder and chief editor of Healthcare IT Today. We're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in health IT. And our guest today is Kaitlyn Nelson. She's Director of Account Solutions and Development at Stoltenberg Consulting, and Karen Serrago, CIO at Community Technology Cooperative. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, excited for this discussion. We have a lot to talk about it. You have a fascinating partnership that it will be fun to feature and help everyone understand how you're working together. But before we go there, Kaitlyn, why don't you start us off? Tell us about yourself and Stoltenberg Consulting.
Absolutely. So Stoltenberg Consulting has been around exclusive to the healthcare IT industry for the last 30 years. We are a full service professional services offering. So we do everything from strategic planning and advisory, implementation support, so everything from the design, build, testing, up to go live delivery. And then we also provide your optimization, maintenance support, as well as go live training at the elbow support. And then we also do legacy support services. So we're here to help our partners transition from one platform to another. We'll bring a team in and really help stand up those legacy sunsetting applications where the teams can focus on those inbound systems. So that's one arm of the company. And then of course we also have our tier 1 through 3 internal service desk that does both IT and application-based support. We are fully US based on the service desk side, and we're able to really flex that support model from the tier 1 side of things seamlessly into tier 2 and tier 3 support through our flex sourcing program. So we're able to really step in, especially during go lives, to augment a tier 2 level, as well as doing the ATE rounding. And then moving into long-term support, we offer the tier 1 package support for CTC as well.
Awesome. So Karen, tell us about yourself and CTC.
Sure. I'm Karen Serrago. I'm the Chief Information Officer of Community Technology Cooperative. We go by CTC. We were started in 2021. Fun fact is that I was the first employee of CTC.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes. We are a nonprofit FQHC run and operated organization.
Wow.
We were started by FQHCs that came together and were looking for a technology cooperative that would meet their individual needs, that they would be able to have control in how the operation is run, be able to work directly with vendors and be able to have that economies of scale. We hold over 30 vendor contracts for our participating federally qualified health centers. Our bread and butter, though, is that we have an instance of Epic that we can share with any FQHC that joins us, and then they can take advantage of those other enterprise type contracts that we have, such as like enterprise faxing, integrations with Quest and LabCorp if they choose to use them, and many others with over 30. The other thing that's unique about us is that we are a straight pass-through to our FQHCs. So what it costs myself to run the organization and what it costs CTC to run is directly what we pass on to our health centers.
Gotcha.
So we really take to heart making sure that we are in the business of doing what is most beneficial to our health centers.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we have 13 that are part of our cooperative. We have a 14th starting this summer. So far, all of our health centers are in Massachusetts. We are now looking to spread it into other states as well.
Wow, what an interesting model. And to your point, Epic and, to be frank, resource-constrained FQHCs, which is most of them, right? They don't often go together, those two, Epics, EHR and FQHCs. So tell us how CTC is able to help these FQHCs make the move to Epic possible.
Yeah, so we use a collaborative approach. So we're able to do it at a much lower cost than others out there in the market because of our collaborative and shared instance.
Nice.
So each health center that joins our instance of Epic, what we try to do is put them together with 1 or 2 other health centers so that the overall cost of their implementation can go down from basically up to a third of what it would normally cost to go through the Epic implementation. The other thing that we are able to do for our health centers is through our model, we also have a long-term support. So after we go live, we in-house do all of their EHR support. So unlike others, if you have your own instance and you go with a Connect model, you don't need to have your own trainers with us. We do the training in-house. You don't need to have your own EHR analyst. We do all of the regulatory and state reporting.
Wow. Okay.
When we've even gone further than that, where we've had situations where we've helped our health centers do staff augmentation as well. So where they've had key people within their organization leave, we've stepped up and helped run their IT department, billing department. We've also, we've been able to help them pool resources together by having resources from the health center join CTC and then having them be able to split that cost between other health centers to be able to capture more FTEs or retain more FTEs. Actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to you about that because Epic implementations are a pretty heavy lift. I mean, Kaitlyn knows that really well. But like, how does CTC assist these FQHCs with the go live? Are you part of the go live, or do you outsource it? How are you approach the go live with these FQHCs?
Yeah, so we have a full year implementation.
Okay.
So really different than most, because some organizations will do an Epic implementation in 4 to 6 months. We take a full year. So when we give them a health center facing project plan that lets them know every step on a weekly basis of who is your organization.
Done it multiple times for all FQHCs.
Yeah. So they'll know on a weekly basis going out a full year which resources are going to be needing, what meetings they're going to be having with us. And we're with them the entire way from the beginning of the implementation to go live. We then partner with Stoltenberg to help us during those last few months of the Epic go live around like the training support, elbow support, and
the command,
command center. We work very closely together on that part of the implementation of the actual few weeks of go live, and then the long-term support.
Gotcha. So Kaitlyn, I mean, obviously Stoltenberg Consulting has been part of a lot of Epic implementations across a lot of different organizations. What is Stoltenberg's role in helping ensure these FQHCs have a successful go live, which is the key, right? It's one thing to say you have a go live; it's another thing to make it a success. So, what's Stoltenberg's role in this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we come into the scene with our partners about 3 months out from the live, and we really have a collaborative approach with CTC and our client partners. So we'll sit at the table through the planning phases. We come together and really take a look at their overall size of team, both from how they're going to be supporting the live internally, in augmentation with CTC and Stoltenberg, but then also the total number of end users, providers, what specialties are being supported, and of course really taking a deep dive into any sort of customization in the workflows so that we can make sure that we are able to step in when we're providing the AT support. We're able to provide meaningful at the elbow support to answer those issues right there on the spot. And then we also have a hybrid model where we'll come in as well remotely with a call command center. So they're able to log tickets if they're not able to meet with someone right there on the floor, or it's something that's a little bit lower priority. They can log an enhancement request. We'll handle that through the command center, and then escalations as needed. And then, as Karen alluded to as well, that streamlines into long-term support with Stoltenberg too at the tier 1 level. So we work really collaboratively. It all really sits on top of having an effective planning approach together and really being in lockstep. So we'll come together, as I mentioned, about 3 months out and really take a full inventory at the methodology and what makes that specific FQHC unique.
That's interesting. I would have thought that FQHCs were pretty similar, but it sounds like you have to customize the go live for each one because of, is it largely size or the culture of the organization, or what are some of the things you look at that are kind of different between them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I'll let you weigh in on that as well, but on the Stoltenberg side, we really take a look at the overall size, so the total number of providers, end users, and ultimately what specialties are being supported at that health center.
Interesting.
Yeah, the specialties is really big. Not every FQHC might have a dental practice. Some are really big in behavioral health. Others might be for mid-level or higher providers. They'll have more NPs than they may have MDs. So that's a very different type of elbow support when you're supporting NPs versus MDs. And also multiple locations. Some health centers are one location while other ones are spread out.
Absolutely.
10, 12 different physical locations. So it is very unique, the support structure for a go live.
Yeah.
And to that point too is really taking an inventory on which location. So when we're putting together our very tailored support model for that specific health center, we'll take into consideration. So of course we want to provide the most cost-effective support solution, but we want to make sure it's successful and everyone is getting that hands-on approach during those first critical few weeks of that live. So we'll take into consideration all of the locations and then those specialties that are supported at each site as well, so that we're able to provide staff that support that specialty and really are able then to focus in on having well-rounded support teams that can transition from location to location as needed.
Yeah, that's cool. So Karen, why did CTC decide to partner with Stoltenberg Consulting's Service Desk Go Live, the Call Command Center that we talked about, the at the elbow support, rather than just building it out yourself as you kind of expand to all these FQHCs?
Yeah, so that was something we did think about in the very beginning, and when we really talked through it as a leadership team, we felt, why bring it in-house when there are experts out there that, Stoltenberg is a industry-leading expert in this type of support. I've worked in multiple organizations where we've tried to bring help desk in-house, and what kind of ends up happening is it ends up being just a ticketing system as opposed to someone being able to fix an issue. So it's not as impactful or helpful when you bring it in-house if you don't have really highly skilled individuals. And oftentimes those highly skilled individuals will then want to go more into the Epic analyst roles instead of staying in the help desk. And what's unique about Stoltenberg is that it's an Epic certified help desk. So the tickets that really come back to our team after a health center goes live is more complicated build fixes that we need to run through work groups, as opposed to how do you do this, user access issues, all of that is able to be taken care of, and we know that level of support is always going to be there. I mean, it's worked out extremely well for us. What's been interesting is that the feedback that we hear is our health centers do not know the difference when they're talking on the phone between a CTC analyst or in Stoltenberg. They think that we're all the same. Yes, that we're all the same team.
That's really nice. I love that they do that. I mean, talk to that, Kaitlyn. What is the experience? What does that look like for an FQHC that's involved in the process, let's say pre-go live, which we've talked a little bit about, but even during the go live and then post-live?
Yeah, absolutely. So during the live, again, we meet with CTC and the client on a very regular basis. Through the live, Stoltenberg's ATE teams, our team leads, as well as our service desk management teams are involved in the daily huddles. So we are constantly weighing in on any type of, tickets that are causing problems or that are pain points for our end users. And so we're able to very quickly restructure how we need to support that. If we need to bring an additional AT on a certain department or location, we're able to do that in a very proactive approach so that, the go live doesn't get a little sideways or get away from us in that way. And then as well, then moving into post live support, we're able to really help reach that stabilization across the end user's journey through the live. So usually it starts off, they're really trying to ask questions based on, navigation, and then it starts to be more questions geared more towards their workflows. And then we're able to really personalize the approach of how we support them long term, following all of CTC's best practice recommendations on their standard workflows as well. And then long term, following the wrap up of the go live, then they move into our long term support structure. And again, as Karen mentioned, it's really a seamless partnership where they'll call one number. They know that they're reaching, team members that are able to help them on that first contact.
I mean, it's interesting. You kind of just described providing this enterprise health system quality level of support for these generally smaller FQHCs, right? I think that's pretty awesome. What a nice partnership. Karen, are there any stories maybe that illustrate kind of the value of the partnership? I know every go live has its own stories, its own bumps, its own bruises, right, whenever you implement an EHR. But any stories that kind of illustrate the value of your partnership?
Yeah, there's a few. I think because of what we were just talking about, the first one that comes to mind is how hectic a command center can be. By having our service desk on the ground with the new FQHCs that are going live, it allows our command center to not be hectic, because we know that the tickets that we're getting to be worked are things that are actual build fixes that we need to work on. And then, so when we're all hands on deck in a command center, we're quickly doing that build, getting it through into production very, very fast. So then we're able to then just pick up the phone and say, and call Stoltenberg and say, we just made 3 fixes to the behavioral health department. Can you go over there and tell everyone to log out and go back in?
Wow, that's
and
cool.
now their 3 biggest issues have now been fixed, and it takes a lot of that coordination out of the way. It really just helps make it a really calm process. Even the feedback that we get after our implementations is that they don't want Stoltenberg to leave. They don't want us to leave the command center. They're like, can we do this for 1 more week? Like, we do like a whole 2 weeks command center, and it's like usually most people are like, okay, we want to go back to just us here, and it's been quite the opposite. Our health centers end up developing really close relationships with Stoltenberg, and
it's really cool.
It's worked really well.
What a good story. Kaitlyn, anything you'd add?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of add on to what Karen has shared is it's really collaborative. I think a shared vision of really making healthcare more equitable for all and providing a cost-effective solution for FQs. So finding ways of, delivering a more custom approach that really meets their exact needs in a way that really drives an impact for the organization. So, across the board, I think it just comes to the collaboration and willingness to, kind of think outside of the box in how we can partner and bring more value to our partners.
Yeah. What a unique model. I appreciate you taking time to talk about it and really bringing a lot of resources to FQHCs and being able to allow them to practice at a higher level and leverage technology. So I appreciate you both coming and spending time to talk with us and share about this unique solution. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare IT content like this, be sure to check it out at healthcareittoday.com or search for Healthcare IT Today on your favorite podcast application. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Thank you for having us.